Dun, 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 dun. We are live, people. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on our spoiler talk or spoiler review of Black Panther. And with me here is Mr. Lou Rod. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening? Wasn't it snowing yesterday in New York?
Yeah, it was snowing in New York. It was snowing in the Northeast. And now it is, forget the extra shininess because I got like all lights around me. But now it's actually not bad. Right now in New York City. I mean,
Alrighty then.
it's more like a light jacket type weather, but it is what it is. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Well, thank you all for joining us. If you got any questions, if you've seen the movie, let us know. Black Panther currently is in theaters. Right now, the movie is set to make about 195 million for a 3-day weekend and 213 for a 4-day
Full
weekend.
day.
It's public holiday here in the US, which means this will pass Age of Ultron, and this will be the first non-sequel superhero movie to do this. No other superhero movie that's been a sequel has done this. So this is huge. This is a very big movie. We'll get to some of those consequences later, but we're going to be talking spoilers here. So before I even start off, like if you want to see my non-spoiler review, which we technically don't have, but the Colonel gave his thoughts on that. I'll have the link for you guys in the description. But you could go check that out. The Colonel has his thoughts on how people in Wakanda actually behave as
Yeah,
opposed
because
to
the Colonel said he went to Wakanda. He has visited Wakanda.
yeah. Although somebody stated in the comments that the Colonel was overthrown by the Wakandans with their help, so I'm not even sure about that. Not sure about that stuff.
But then the Colonel also did ask, what other movie would you like the Colonel to review? And I said Han Solo.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see where that
The
happens.
Colonel
But
can bring his Lando Calrissian type vibe to Han Solo.
I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible. Like I said, I'll pass the word out to the Colonel.
Yeah.
Richie
And most
says Colonel
important,
Singala could kick T'Challa's ass.
I
The
think
Colonel
not.
is very vast in a lot of martial arts, especially one that involves a bottle.
But can you please get the Colonel to make that Instagram page, man?
He's working on it. Look, the guy was
I
enjoying.
understand he doesn't fit in his budget, but he needs to make it work.
Look, he was enjoying Valentine's Day. Okay.
Oh, I bet he was.
Anyway, guys, sorry about that. Let's kick it off. Let's kick it off. So, Lou, your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. I'm going to share out the link for the Colonel review, and I'm also going to be sharing out on Twitter. So, but Lou, give us your thoughts on the
I
movie
look,
before we get into spoilers. Just your general thoughts.
my general thoughts, the movie was great. The only issue I had was Disney not allowing me to use my movie pass. I had to come out the pocket. Even though I was coming out the pocket if I would have used my movie pass. Because I pay for a subscription. But it is what it is. I thought the movie was great from start to finish. Very entertaining, and I'm going to see it again. I just got to figure out the logistics, but I'm going to see it again. Probably go with my son, and we'll see it. But then my cousin sends me a text today, and he said the movie was just okay. That Wonder Woman was better. And I said, child, please. Wonder Woman
Okay.
was good, but not better than this. Just the Wakandan technology, the way that they built that. We know the city is green screen, but it looked really lifelike and beautiful.
Okay, so give me 5 things you liked without spoiling. Just like list 5 things you really enjoyed in the movie, and then if there's any negative, list that again. Then we'll
Okay,
get into spoilers.
I like Michael B. Jordan as a character. I enjoyed Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw. The Black Panther new suit was on point. And Michonne kicked ass. Don't know her real name, but she was she could quit The Walking Dead and just be in Marvel movies, and I'll be happy. And then, dude, just the whole even Bilbo Baggins was good, and I enjoyed Suri. Yo, I can't wait till she hooks up with Tony Stark. That's
Yeah, I
gonna be
mean,
some interesting conversation.
oh, I mean, you know, she is smarter than Tony Stark. So.
Oh, okay. Well, she's younger,
Yeah, and her tech also is just more advanced than Tony Stark's also as
but
well.
look what she's playing with as far as tech, though.
Yeah.
Vibranium. Tony's using regular metals.
I will say though, for me, I enjoyed a lot about this movie. And to your cousin's statement, and I said it to a friend on Facebook. To me, this is the best. And that's what people would say Avengers is the best Marvel movie. No.
Nah.
To me, this is the best Marvel movie to date. And to me, this is Marvel's equivalent to TDK, The Dark Knight. To
I've been
me,
hearing that comparison.
the reason I'm saying this, and I'll give you my own breakdown, is The Dark Knight is a beautiful movie that has layers. You got to see the mind of someone who was crazy, who was a villain. He kept telling all these fake stories about himself. You got to see the mind of Batman from the mind of the villain. You got to see the construct of the deconstruction of all those characters. Granted, the action sequences were not the best, but that's a movie that really holds, not just over time, but holds you just in captive audience. And then when you go back, watch it again. Now, going to Black Panther was a movie of many, many layers. Now, when you're looking at it from the African perspective, you're looking at it from the Black American perspective, you're looking at it from the political ramifications, even just general political ramifications as they said it in the movie. This is a movie that, on one hand, covered all those things, especially politics, which Disney doesn't like to do in their movies, right? They like to make it fun. Was funny. Now, Disney, if you're going to make funny movies, this is how you do it. Not like Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it, but I don't call that a Thor movie. Not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. This is something that was fun, but there was a lot of serious nature to it. That's why this movie has a lot of balance for me. Now, some of the action sequences are cool, but some of them was also really quick. And you can tell if you're a film person, you go, that's Ryan Coogler's weakness. He doesn't know how to do action yet that well, because some of them are very fast. You can tell that's the way you cover.
Okay, but let's be real. This is his third film.
No. I said it's his weakness. I'm not saying that it's something that is bad. I'm just saying, look, it's like Nolan, right? Nolan couldn't do it. He's gotten a little bit better. I'm just saying it's called a weakness. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means he needs to improve. But for
Richie's
me,
comment is saying that T'Challa was a weak king. I don't see him as a weak king. I see him as a king that wasn't ready for the position.
No, I see him as a king who is growing, because if you go through the storyline, the villain was created by themselves, and it goes into the story of what I found in America coming in as an African who's lived in America and dealing with Black Americans. There's some resentment, and it's back and forth. There's some resentment of like, you guys don't care about us, and then there's a resentment of like, it's not our fault, and you got that. That's what I loved about it. You got that from T'Challa, and you got that from Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan said, I was left. You guys had the power to bring me back or save my people. You couldn't do this. T'Challa went back to his father and said, why did you leave the child alone? It's very simple. That one simple mistake that the father made caused this huge havoc for them.
It does. And to me, like I said, the father was the main villain. His actions caused Michael B. Jordan to become the man he became.
I wouldn't call him a main villain. He's not the main villain. It's a big mistake, and that's what it is. Because in this movie, it's not the villain and the heroes have different sides to them. It's a matter of whether you find correction to the sides. And that's what T'Challa was trying to do. As opposed to Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, think about it. T'Challa at the very end of the movie was like, we can still heal you. And he just looked at it, was like, nah. What he said, some people will say, oh, he's just being tough. What he said was very poignant. He said, my ancestors jumped off boats to die. I'm going to go like them. That's how you knew where his mindset was. He was like, you have nothing for me. It's either I take it or I die. And him referencing that kind of goes that. That's why I was like, yeah, you got to let this guy die. Like, there's no way you can't like save him for another movie. You know what I mean? Like, he's just
That's the bad thing about it is this. He dies in combat, but why kill Claw? Claw, dude, I'm sorry. Andy Serkis had potential to be a great villain down the road, not just with T'Challa and all them. He could have been one to Iron Man or to even Captain America. He was poised to be that kind of villain, and it's a shame that we only got him in this movie like that. Such a shame.
I do agree that I wish Andy Serkis didn't die, but it serves such a right purpose because remember, T'Challa's best friend, who was the head of security, right? Basically,
the Rhino guy?
Yeah, basically betrayed him. That's his best friend. But because T'Challa could not bring him back, so of course he dumps the body and is like, yeah, I have this guy for you. 1 second, my thing is out of focus. So, yeah. So I look at it and go, well, I mean, it made sense for the story. I agree. It made sense. But again, like all of them could come back because Thanos can do this. Time Stone.
Well, to get the Time Stone, he has to get that from Doctor Strange.
And he will. He's going to get all the stones anyway.
Well, I mean,
there's two movies. Yeah, don't worry. He has to get all the stones. But to me, that's the thing that made sense with this movie. There's so many facets. But the part of the movie I love the most. What's up, Sam?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We're good. Sam
good evening.
Us.
Good evening.
Yeah.
How are you both doing?
With a new camera angle.
And I'm actually liking that backdrop, though. It feels very. It feels like Sam's like, you know.
I don't even know what my backdrop is because I can't see it.
No, it's out of focus look to it. But the part of
I did do that.
The part of the movie I really enjoyed was writing strong female characters who were. Remember, these are supporting characters, but you felt their presence in every scene.
Yeah, that was actually pretty true.
It was well written. It wasn't, it wasn't something to me, it's not something you write supporting characters and they feel like they're supporting characters. They felt, when you
is this the spoiler or the non-spoiler?
Oh, it's been spoiler from the first.
Okay, so it is a spoiler one. Yeah, no, okay. Just trying to make sure. Because when you talk about the female characters, definitely there's a scene I want you to talk about. But you go ahead and finish.
Just the fact that, when you go from scene to scene, whenever each female character showed up, it's not like they necessarily just stole the scene. They just showed up as being like, we are here. I mean, like Okoye as a general, like you said, Lou's like, yo, she can quit Walking Dead and she should just be an MC and be done.
Yo, dude, you know my gripe with The Walking Dead, and they dumbed down her character on that show because she is a much more powerful character in the comics than she is on the show.
Well, she showed her frustration in Black Panther.
She showed it in Black Panther. Yo, she threw that goddamn spear. That shit went through the window. I was like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah, but it was like that for me. That was the case.
The fact that she wore that wig and she's like, can I take this ridiculous thing off?
Yeah, it was cool. How about Sam? You're about to say something.
I was just going to agree with you about how great the female characters in this movie were, because you saw, like, this movie is about, like, it's named after Black Panther. It's about the character of what's it called again? What's his name again?
T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa. Yeah. Now, when you look at T'Challa's character, you're like, oh, he's badass. He has all these other stuff. And normally you say, oh, if this was Iron Man, then he has Pepper Potts to be his backup, or he has whatever to do whatever for him. There's a scene towards the end where they're fighting Killmonger, a guy who kicks Black Panther's ass. And you see these three, the Malachi.
The Malachi, yeah.
Yeah, the Raw Malachi. And these women are just like, they've literally planned on how to take down who's supposed to be the baddest mofo in the country, their king. The way they fought, you can tell, oh, these women really practice how to take this guy down, like to the point where they almost won. And Black Panther had a hard time beating him, but these three women together almost ended Killmonger. I'm like, okay, like they're not pushovers. They did a great job in showing that the women, the female characters, were not just eye candy or just like filling some kind of check, some kind of checkbox. This was more like, oh, they really are a part of the overall story. They're part of the whole.
And I liked when her boyfriend goes, "Will you kill me?" And her response is, "Yeah, for Wakanda, you did."
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. I hope Michonne is in Infinity War.
We'll see.
No, she will be at least.
Yeah, she was in Civil War for a bit, right?
No, she wasn't. It was the other one.
It was the other one.
Yeah, slightly taller. I can't remember her name, but the slightly taller. The one that says "Move or you will be moved."
Oh yeah, that wasn't her. Yeah, you're all right. That wasn't her. But the movie overall was on point, man.
What I liked as well is, this one took place literally a week after his father's death. A week right after Civil War ends, a week goes by and we're here. Granted, this whole timeline with the MCU is crazy, but after watching a few videos, it breaks down to 1 week later, this happens.
Yeah, no, it does. And I was saying earlier, I like that, on the personal aspect, I like the fact that we had that conversations of Africans and Black Americans in a comic book movie. And, especially going through college, I've had different levels and stages where I've come to understanding of, what Black Americans face that I never faced, and we've gone through that struggle. I remember I said it to you earlier, Lou, and you said this, Sam, in theaters, is like that line at the end when he said, "We can heal you." And he says, "Nah, my ancestors jumped off boats. I'm gonna die." I was like,
you're breaking it down interestingly, but no, it's really great because that was a powerful scene because he was like, "We can heal you," and he goes, "Oh, and then what you're gonna do? What are you gonna do to me? Put me in a cage?" Yeah, like you're gonna put me in a cage. It's like I'm basically I'm gonna do what my ancestors realized a long time ago. It's better to jump off a boat and die than to be stuck in a cage. I'm like, whoa, okay, that was kind of all right. That's kind of deep. That was actually kind of deep. Yeah. But the whole idea, I thought they were just going to stay away from it. I thought they were going to stay away from the whole idea that Black Panther is named after a quasi-militant / Afro improvement / uplifting movement, right? That they were going to stay away from that whole thing. But then they kind of incorporated it into the story because Killmonger's dad, and the way they changed Killmonger's backstory was well done.
Yeah, it was. We were talking about it at the beginning of the movie. We were like, are they going to change it so it's his cousin? I was like, and you're like, it's going to have to make sense.
It makes sense because if you go from the regular comics, Killmonger is a guy with no powers who keeps on kicking T'Challa's ass.
Yeah, he has no powers at all. No, he does have powers now. The updated version now.
Oh, they updated him to have powers. Okay.
Yeah, he has some. But originally, he was just at the peak of physical fitness.
Yeah.
Literally. Yep. So it's like saying literally it's like he was like Batman just running around beating up.
Exactly. It's like Batman just beating up everyone. No, we can't have this done. Yeah, but I like the way they changed the story, and then you see T'Challa's dad comes in as the guy who basically is that watershed moment where Wakanda had they had the opportunity to open up, to accept something that was different, to accept someone who was half Wakandan, half American, bring them in, recognize them. They had the opportunity, and they made the mistake of going the other way. And it does a great job of saying, even though Wakanda puts itself on some kind of level that says, "Oh, look at us, we're peaceful, technologically advanced," but they still have flaws. They still had flaws, I guess
their flaw was they were better than the rest of the world.
Yeah, you're right. They thought that way because think about it. Why do you, if you're that peaceful, right? The amount of spies they had around. Remember when Killmonger said, "Okay, we need to send our weapons to the spies," and what's his boyfriend's name?
Rhino.
Nakaya? He's going to Nakaya. Nakaya says, some of our
Rhino
spies.
The rhino, those rhinos were bad. And then when Michonne got in front of the one, it just licked her like, "Oh, I ain't messing with you, baby." Brought that man to his knees just by standing there, like, okay, yeah, can't mess with her.
No, it's true. I mean, but that's the thing. Wakanda thoughts. They thought they were higher and better than everyone else, which is why they had spies. And then his uncle, aka Killmonger's father, realized the hardships and the things that were going wrong for Black Americans, which is where you could say that's that introduction of that Black Panther movie. I'm not saying that's it particularly, but that's just some facet of it. You could say it was like, look, we need to help these people. We can bring our weapons in. We can do all these things. And look at to me, it was just the fact that also on the geeky side, it was like, this is 1980 something, and the tech they had in 1980s
was so far advanced.
1990s, yeah.
1990s,
and the tattoos on the lips. I'm like, okay, so we can. I was like, oh, okay, so you can identify each other, huh? Like all Wakandans can identify themselves. You just pull the lips down. I'm like, all right, dude, all right. I see how it is.
Remember, it goes back to the first credit scene where the one guy in the UN is like, "Oh, what could Wakanda do for us?"
Oh yeah.
And Black Panther gives that look like, "If you only knew, fool." It shows that they were, dude, they had freaking barriers that no one could see through. I mean, they made that shield look better than what they had in the Inhumans crappy show.
Yeah, but Inhumans. Okay, I'm just gonna put it this way. I think everything out on TV right now is probably better than those 3 episodes of Teen Humans.
No, there was 8, and it had potential. They just got into the thick of things of something stupid. I watched all 8 episodes, and it was 8 hours of TV that I'm going to get back.
Wow, you are a man with some with a thick spine.
I do this for the fans, for our audience. I watch this stuff for them because they ask questions, and I was the one to answer.
Yeah, he wasn't me though.
Just like I watched X-Men: The Gifted. That was actually good.
Really?
I'll have to check it out. But all right, so where would you, before we get to that question, I was going to say, where would you rank this? Because I already ranked this as my best Marvel movie, period. Yeah. Like I said, this is Marvel's TDK. This is their Dark Knight. This is the movie that you can come back and watch again. You can watch again. You can watch again. Watch again. And you'll be fine. But in terms of so what negatives did you find in the movie? Whether it's technical flaws or plot holes or anything that you thought, maybe they could have done better.
Simply, dude, Idris Elba should have been his dad, man. I've been saying this since day one, okay? Idris Elba should have been his dad. Hey.
No. Look, I'm sorry. He's a great
he's out there on the Bifrost. I don't care if he's out there hanging up in the Bifrost. Okay, he came to Earth, and that's why Black Panther is awesome, because his daddy's Hemdo. Okay, Idris Elba should have been his daddy. I'm just saying.
I mean, but you should appreciate the fact that Disney went and got the father and son to play the same character.
Very true. Yeah, very true. No, for me, I think some of the things that worried me about the movie was the use of Forrest Whitaker's character, for instance. Forrest Whitaker's character just didn't seem to be the right person to play that part. If they had said, okay, he's just some priest, great, but then tying him back to the spy from the start, from the beginning of the show, it's like the age is a little off.
Yeah, it felt like he let himself go.
Yeah.
No, his age is really off. It's even for the father too, the age is off. The math.
Oh no, the father to the father. Look, height difference. I'm sorry, bro. What happened? As he got older, he shrunk.
Yeah, you do shrink, but you have to. The age has to be that much. Wide. Yeah.
Not that much. I mean, or what they saying? He had some super cool Nike boots.
Yeah, which is why
gave him some height.
Which is it's all. You're right. Like to me, the father had to be. Technically, his father had to be what's his name? Idris Alba, or somebody of that age range. Because even if you age him up a little bit, you can see the age difference between him and T'Challa. T'Challa's father looked like he was 76,
and he didn't have the body type. He didn't have a body type for a man who's basically a warrior as well. He didn't have the warrior body type when he was older. And when he got older, you still be able to tell. Like, even when you get older and whatever. Look at the guy. What's his name? Oh man, the guy who's Commissioner Gordon. I'm not.
Jim Gordon. I call him the Daily Bugle guy.
No, yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons, look at the guy's body, man. That's someone who works out, right? At his age, even if he gets 20 years down the road, you're still going to be able to see some kind of like physique there. His shoulders or something will still show. So I didn't buy it with that.
I just need to address something here. Kyle Ruggles, I love you, man. But I'm sorry, I know they can get more Africans to play the role, but Angela Bassett stays. Okay?
Oh, dude. Anybody say anything about Angela? What? Who said something about Angela Bassett?
No, Kyle says, he says, even Angela Bassett, I love her, but get real Africans in there. Look.
No.
Oh, he's referring to her accent. It could have been better.
No. Kyle. We don't say anything bad about Angela Bassett. Man.
Thank you very much.
We just don't say anything bad about her.
Thank you very much.
Oh God, that woman is just like. Ugh.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna put it that way. She's just like.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So here's the thing with the accent here, and I want to address this because somebody stated this. He said he heard a lot of different accents, that it's not consistent. If you travel to any African country, if you go to Nigeria, where Sam and I are originally from, there are many accents. Okay, just from the different tribes. We have 150 different tribes in Nigeria. So which means that
not just 150 different tribes, but 150 different dialects as well.
No, 200 different dialects. I think.
Yeah.
So,
but who's to say? I mean, really, I didn't find the accents bad at all.
It's not that. So I've heard a lot of people talk about, I guess so what I think what they're thinking.
Or the Whitaker's character's accent. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, he does an extension of what he did in The King of Scotland. I think he should have just done the King of Scotland accent.
Yeah, that would have been better. Yeah.
Which is closer to where was this guy from again?
It's Uganda.
But the thing is, this is that every African country has multiple different languages and multiple different accents.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit down and do different Nigerian accents for you, which is, you hear just a blend whenever you hear the Colonel videos. It's just a mixture of a few.
Yeah. And don't forget, when we talk about African countries, and you're talking like, look and accents and whatnot, don't forget that a lot of African countries are an amalgamation of different tribes. Because out of colonialism, a lot of countries were just put together with different tribes, or even sometimes even warring tribes, just put in the same little area. Like Nigeria is not named because it means some amazing thing. It's just Niger area. It's an area that it just grabbed everyone and put them in. Right? So if you keep that in mind, you realize that the accent doesn't become that big a deal.
Yeah.
Although it was fun as an African person watching this and being able to say, "Oh, that's a South African accent," or "That's a Nigerian accent."
Bro. You got Chadwick Boseman, who is from South Carolina, trying his best, and he says he went to South Africa and went to different various of tribes to learn dialect and learn how they speak to play the role.
He pulled it off. He pulled it off, man.
So here's the thing, Sam, right? So M'Baku, he's from Trinidad, man.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Trinidad.
I thought that guy was Nigerian, straight on.
Yo,
so we were in the theaters going, that guy's Nigerian, man.
That the gorilla guy?
Yeah. So when M'Baku said, "I will feed you to my wives," or my children. He started laughing. He's like, "I'm just joking." That was like a typical Igbo accent, man. Like straight up.
he got the guy must have gone to Nigeria and lived there for a little bit.
I'm telling you,
he had a lot of the mannerisms down. I'm like, nah, this guy's Nigerian.
Accent. I was like, he pulled that off really well. But that's the thing too, is that when you have all those different like in Wakanda, you have all those different tribes. You're supposed to get different languages, accents, and cultures, because that's just usually why. And again, they said it. There were 5 warring tribes that became Wakanda. And that's the thing. Look, I'm sorry, Tamara. Trinidad and Tobago, yes. Yes, that's where he's from. That is exactly where he's from. But M'Baku was a character that I didn't think they were going to pull off well, but he actually nailed that. So again, that was the thing about this movie, that even people with such small roles, like everyone. So even if you go through everyone in Wakanda, you go through T'Challa, you go through Okoye, you go through his sister Suri. As soon as she just said, "What is this?" with his slippers,
she did go say. She said, "What are those?"
Yeah, yeah. That was when I went like, okay, yes, this girl like has the right mindset and attitude for this role. And then she's like, check this out. I call them sneakers.
That was a nice line. Yeah, but the line that really got me the most, man, was when what's his name? When the secret agent
when Everett Ross wakes up and comes out.
Yeah, when Everett Ross wakes up and she has her back to him, and then he walks around and he says something, and she just like, this is like don't scare me, colonizer. I'm like, whoa. Like, chill with the hostility, little lady. Chill with the hostility, okay?
Yo, not even that. The fact that she told him to fly the ship, and he's like, "How do you expect me to fly?" And then the hologram pops up. He's like, "Yo, this is dope."
No, she did a very good job. But like I said, that part was, I was like, well, Disney actually let them write that joke in, record the joke. See, remember, don't scare me like that, colonizer, and then let that go through testing. I mean, it is a funny joke, so you probably will pass the testing. Yeah, anyway.
You would think Disney would have played it a little safer, and I'm glad they didn't play it any safer, because there are a lot of themes that if they played it safe would have kind of detracted from the importance, from the message that the movie had. And the message wasn't anything saying, "Oh wow, black people are awesome." The message was just saying that there is, you can expect something more from a movie that is designed like this. Like, look at, from a movie with mostly like a black director, mostly black actors, about a black superhero. You can expect something that's not cliche. You can expect something that's not campy, and they did it right. And I'm really, really glad that they didn't go too safe. And then on the flip side, though, you get Black Panther now becoming something more than just a superhero movie. I was telling you this. Like, for me, I walked out of there feeling as though I watched a really good movie, not a superhero movie. And to me, that's the best part of it, because I really enjoyed it as a movie. It had story, it had a great plot, it had great characters, great acting. It's just everything you want from a great movie. It had
great world building.
Oh my God, the set designs, man, those things were amazing. It's like everything in that movie.
The other thing that was good about it is this felt like a standalone movie, even though the final end credit scene pushes the Infinity War agenda.
Yep.
No, I mean, it was well wrapped up where, yes, you can make sequels. And, one person we haven't talked about much is Lupita Nyong'o's character. I can't remember her character's name.
Nakia.
Nakia. Okay. So Nakia is, I think she becomes, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic book, she becomes a villain towards Black Panther at some point, because she's always that person. Part of her character, the way you see the way she behaves, she's like, look, I can't stay and just not, be queen or, do things this way. I've got to move out. Yeah. I don't know how that will play out in the sequels, but thank you, Tamara. I think her character is the one that's going to bring in some strife. And again, now that Disney is trying to buy Fox, and we were talking about it throughout the movie, and then if you can bring Storm in, and remember Storm is from Kenya in the comics. and
Okay.
I believe she, if I'm not mistaken, she was adopted to, you know, in the U.S. So there was a part in the comics where Storm went to find her roots. Storm and Black Panther are married. That is the power couple between those two. It's not like here. It's all great, but it's literally Storm and Black Panther.
T'Challa.
You know, and T'Challa. So it would be nice to see how that comes in eventually at some
But
point.
see, they're still
it does.
teasing the Nikea angle just in case the deal doesn't go through.
No, you have to though. It's not even a matter of teasing. It's just natural story progression because you can see where she stands, and she's not going to be queen, you know, and she's not going to be that because he's already put her on a mission to help the whatever the community outreach is in Oakland, you know. So she's not going to be queen. So we'll see how that moves forward. But look, Warren, Lupita was amazing. You could sense her switch. She was the one who was the fast thinker. She told the parents to leave when Black Panther was getting his ass whooped by Killmonger. She's like, we need to go now, you know? And she's the one who thought of bringing.
Okay, I have a question.
Bringing the flowers.
During those two fights, when he fought the gorilla guy, the ape, whatever the hell that you guys are calling him, did he like lose power?
Yeah. So they give him the other fluid so he loses, because whenever you do the ceremonial fights to take the throne, you have to be at your normal human self.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and then afterward you go back.
You go back and then you gain it. So that's what happened. And Killmonger, like, we need to talk about Killmonger for a second, but you know that
just a straight up fighter.
That fight and that whole setup, and seeing how, you know, like I said, just going back to Nakia, how she thought of everything. She's like, okay, we need to go, we need to get the flower, we need to like move, or else this guy will. And watching Okoye there go like, I have to defend this fool. Like you can tell she's watching him lose and going, man. But I mean, like, she's probably having that conflict in her head. Is like, do I really just love Wakanda, or is it T'Challa? Like, which one is it? And at the end, of course, she's stuck with country over.
But she's a general. She's a general, and she served not just T'Challa. She served his father, and you know, she's a general.
Yeah, which is why
she serves her country.
If you think about it, right, which is why, in a sense, you didn't see her in the first movie. If the king and the Black Panther are out of the country, the general will have to be there. Especially since it's a monarchy, it's not like you have like a democracy per se. So since the king in Civil War, the king and Black Panther were out of the country, which means the king could be protected by Black Panther, so it doesn't matter. Therefore, the general is the one who's making sure everything is safe, pretty much. So it definitely showed. But yeah,
Tamara was saying that those flowers have to have seeds somewhere else. Ideally, I think the plant only grows in Wakanda, but it's very rare. It's not impossible for them to find more. So I would say it's probably still out there somewhere in Wakanda, but right now they have to go looking for it because he took the last one in the movie, right? He had the last available plant. So they'll probably need to find it again and try to cultivate it back in that little space.
Yeah, yes, for whoever becomes the next.
Because that area was where all the vibranium was. They planted it there specifically because that was part of the whole, like a lot of concentration of vibranium. So I'm thinking they're probably going to find another one that's not as strong, but bring it there and plant it there, and over a few generations it gets as strong again. So pretty. Yeah, hopefully T'Challa doesn't die in the movies anytime soon. Otherwise, we're going to be like, we don't have any plants. We don't have any plants, man.
I don't think they will, because the way this was set up, they kind of they rewrote Killmonger's backstory, but they still kept some of those comic elements, like the scene where he picked him up on his shoulders and then threw him over the waterfall. Yeah. That's from the comic adaptation. So they pulled from here and there, and it just shows that Michael B. Jordan was just a badass. Homie, all those little dots on his body, he did a lot of killing.
Realistically, I think the fact that he won, I'm glad that they wrote it that man to man without powers, Michael B. Jordan's character of Killmonger was stronger. because you don't want to screw with the fact that T'Challa he's not the strongest person in Wakanda, but he's the person most deserving to be king.
King. Yeah.
That's what that's basically what they said.
And he didn't back down from any challenge.
No, that's very true. I mean, but the thing about Killmonger was it reminded me of, so before I saw the movie, I saw a lot of interviews with Michael B. Jordan. And just to summarize, because he didn't say this word for word, but he basically said like he wanted to wipe away Fantastic Four, like from his superhero resume. Like that just wanted to be gone. And a lot of people, I heard reviews and people were like, oh, Michael B. Jordan is on point. And I'm like, okay, I know his approach is probably going to be he either lived in the US for a while or whatever the case may be, and that's how, of course, he's sticking with his American accent. But I love the fact that he just went in with, there was this, so it reminds me of what Chinua Achebe's daughter said when they asked her, she was in an interview with Trevor Noah, not interview, she was at a talk with Trevor Noah, and the host said, look, as Africans, how do you perceive racism? How did racism affect you coming to America? And she said, well, for us, like, I mean, I didn't know I was Black until I came to America. No, I didn't know I was Black, but like, that's we don't look ourselves that way. But she said one key thing. She said, as Nigerians, because she's Nigerian, she says Nigerians, we just look at it, we look at these things as being silly because we have what we call casual arrogance. And to me, that was what Killmonger portrayed. Especially that very first scene when he goes, nah, that's Wakandan. Nah, I'll take it off your hands. It's cool. You don't know this stuff. Almost saying, look, even though I am not technically from there, at least from social, political status or whatever, I am from there, and this is mine. So that casual, and even when he came to fight, when he dropped the body of Claw, I got a gift for you. You can check it. I mean, it was just like,
yeah, I'm kind of sad that Ulysses Claw is dead though, because I liked his character too.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know if you guys
want to hear my
caught it.
mixtape?
I don't know if you caught it, but when he was tied up in the chair, he channeled his inner Gollum. He brought it out a little bit. He brought out Gollum for a brief second. I'm like, yo, they can't kill him. I hope he don't die. And next thing you know, he's freaking dead.
I mean, but like I said, I agree with you. I agree with both of you. Yes, Ulysses Claw should not have died. I definitely agree. But I also look at it this way, that for that story to fit properly,
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, like you could have brought his body and be like, he's capturing him or something, but then it's always Ulysses Claw is in a jail somewhere. This movie really just was about, like, there was a level of brutality that was just almost necessary at the same time, where certain characters just came up and said, this is what we're going to do. I mean, the father did, think about it, the father killed his brother without blinking.
Oh yeah.
Without blinking.
But they didn't have to kill Gollum, man. He could have took him as a prisoner and turned him in, and then he could have escaped prison and stole more vibranium and built something cool for his arm again.
Yeah. So Mike Texas, I felt they made Panther feel like his fighting skills were not that great. Look, in the comics, when Black Panther fights Killmonger, it is tough. Let alone without powers. It is just rough. Let's just call it what it is.
I think the thing is they
he was struggling with Man-Ape.
Man-Ape is strong, man.
Yeah,
what the hell? He picked up Rhino with one arm like nothing. Held him like a puppy dog in the air. Guy couldn't get out.
Let's put it this way, right? So he said he seemed more formidable in Civil War. Black Panther compared to the people in Wakanda are technically better than a lot of the Marvel heroes. I'm just putting it out there. They are. It's just you don't see them that much. M'Baku is hardcore, but also M'Baku, at least they played M'Baku differently in the comics, because Manip has always been trying to get the throne in the comic books. Yeah. Constantly. This Manip is a little different, where he understands sovereignty and place and rule, and also he has his own little sovereignty where he is. So he's like, all right, I got to keep a balance here. But yeah, Black Panther to the rest of let's put it this way. Disney did a cartoon series of the Avengers where Black Panther came to meet the Avengers for help, and he kicked all the asses, aka Iron Man, Captain America, aka that would be Bucky as well, if you want to just throw that in there. Giant Man, all of them, because that's how good Black Panther is. Now,
Giant Man, Ant-Man.
Yeah,
he is the same person.
Same person. Yeah,
Okay.
I just picked one of his names. But yeah, no, I mean, to me, it's just one of those things where the people in Wakanda are just that good. Again, think about how Okoye fought her herself, and then everyone else. I keep mispronouncing
the Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje, how they fight. And then think about even Lupita Nakita's character, how she fought, like all of them.
She wasn't that good of a fighter. She could hold her own, but
but remember, she's a spy. She's a spy. She doesn't fight the same way. Spies are not. Remember, even spies don't like to go out and tussle in public. It's all in the background, man.
Unless you're James Bond, and then you just tussle with everyone.
Yeah,
ultimate spy, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there are a lot of elements to really enjoy about this movie. I think they just hit it they just hit it right all the way through. It's one of the, I was trying to go see it today, then we were trying to go see it tomorrow, and I can't find seats that are available to see it.
This is one movie I'm definitely going to see again. There were so many things that were done right in this movie, and even with all the changes they made to the characters, I think they did it in a way that reflected, reality, right? So you're not just going to have the man ape come out and say, "Oh, I just want to beat the dude and be king." No, they had a story behind that. Like, okay, they went away. Now they see an opportunity where they've lost what they thought was a weak king, and they're getting another weak king. And it's like, no. We need to make sure that Wakanda is safe. We need to make sure that Wakanda is ruled by strength. That's why they came through. That's why he came through from the mountains. And everybody was like, "Oh, whoa, what are these guys doing here?" So there was some kind of political meaning to all all the power play that was being done, even with the council, even with the tribal council. There was a little bit of a power play there where they're telling him, we don't need a warrior now, we need a king. There's a little bit of the political play there, and then ultimately,
homie with the coin in the lip, he was hard to understand.
that was Nikita's father, right?
No, Nakia's was that Nakia's father?
Well,
I don't think that was.
I don't know, but on the boat, when they were going for the ceremony, she was on his boat, so I thought maybe. But...
Well, there was a scene in the movie that wasn't. Remember, this movie was only 2.5 hours. There was a scene where her and Chadwick were going to see her parents.
Okay.
So I don't think he was her parent, because then if that's the case, they see each other.
Oh, maybe he's just the head of the tribe.
Yeah, he's the head of a. Yeah, I think Nakia was the head. I think the reason they went to get her was I think she became the head of her tribe.
Eating is pretty messy with that coin in the lip.
Yeah, that was a harsh look, man. That was a harsh look.
Well, it's all CGI though.
Yeah.
Because I know that
CGI done right.
Unlike Mustache Gate.
Wow. Okay, leave that joke for Deadpool.
Talking about Deadpool, this movie officially unseats Deadpool as the highest earning movie for the month of February.
This movie officially unseats a lot of movies in general.
But Deadpool was the highest earning movie.
Look,
in this time
I
slot.
think this one will hold it for a while unless Disney decides to put a Star Wars movie in February.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the only way. Or another good big time blockbuster Infinity War style movie with
Black Panther 2 is going to release on February again, right?
Of course, they're going to keep them in Black History Month.
Yeah,
and most likely my movie pass won't work again.
And then so Disney's going to own basically every single holiday, and then like the whole Black History Month now. They're going to be like, oh yeah, Black History Month. Just don't forget to watch your Black Panther. Here you go. Yeah, that's not even right, Disney. It's,
why not? Right. I mean, you got him signed for 5 movies. He's been in 2.
Yeah.
Granted, Infinity War will make 3.
3. Yeah. Then he has 2 more to go.
Which I'm pretty sure he's probably in the second half of that Infinity War movie. So that would make 4. and then he'll probably come back for Black Panther 2, and that makes 5.
I don't know if Infinity Wars will count as two. If 1 and 2 will count as two.
They do count.
They count as 2 movies.
Yeah, because it's coming out a year apart.
Yeah,
I thought they filmed both of them together.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Its appearance is not when you film.
Ah, okay. All right.
So the contract is like usually all those contracts are as a whole. So which is why it's the same thing why some people started panicking and said there's only one Superman movie left, and people were like, why? Because his contract only has one more movie to do a solo Superman. So it's the same thing. It's like if you have 5, whatever you show up in counts as it. So if I had him, I'll just it's time for him to renegotiate, man. Come on.
Yeah, but he'll renegotiate for more money.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll get more money.
Wonder Woman directed. That was the dumbest thing Warner Brothers ever did. Did not sign Patty Jenkins to a long-term contract. They literally, as soon as the movie came out, they wanted to resign. She said, "No, not yet." I was like,
"I got potential to make more money. Let's wait."
So Ryan Coogler,
yeah.
Disney wants to bring him back to do part 2, so they didn't sign him neither.
He is going to be making some good money going forward because he has like 3 pretty great movies that he's done, and this one being the most financially successful of all the movies he's done so far. And I think he has a lot more movies in him. He's a young guy. He's 31.
He's 31. Yeah, 3 movies. Derek says, depending on the box office numbers, we'll probably get Black Panther movies for the rest of our lives. And then
Sean, you want a good Daredevil movie? Just go to Netflix. It's 13 hours long, and it's got 2 seasons.
Season 1, maybe. Season 2, I'm not sure.
Oh, come on! Season 2 gave us Punisher.
I had
and it gave us, and instead of a hallway fight, it gave us a stairwell fight.
Wow, that is true. It gave us a stairwell fight. It gave us the very angry Punisher who just screams for no freaking reason on the face of the planet. But yeah, that's cool.
And let's be real, that Punisher did a lot of headshots. There was lots of brains all over the place.
The Punisher is, oh God, I don't even get into Punisher, but the Punisher's his series, I liked it. Him in season 2 of Daredevil, I couldn't stand. That's just the way I feel.
I mean, the series was well fleshed out. The series got into Punisher itself, and I think what it was is but to me also season 2, the best part of season 2 was Punisher. That's the first half, like with all Marvel's Netflix shows. The first half of all those shows are always
awesome. And then the other half is
like Luke Cage. We all know how it was with Cottonmouth.
Once they took Cottonmouth out, it was done. It was just done. It's like, why did you do this?
So here's the question: what do you think? Because somebody, you know me, I went to the message boards. I'm looking, and people are just typing. They're like, so what black superhero do you think Warner Brothers is going to fast track now because of this?
Please don't do Black Lightning. Please don't.
No. Black Lightning is great on TV. Don't touch that.
It's actually.
I'm enjoying that show right now.
Okay,
but
I'm not enjoying that.
But for film, I mean, for film, I say you go with Green Lantern and you lead with Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart is.
You got that coming with the Lantern Corps movie.
Yeah, no, but you can actually lead with that. I mean, Warner Bros. Had Cyborg on the list just because the way this last movie went off, nobody even knows what's going on there. But I say Green Lantern with Jon Stewart is a nice one because Green Lantern, he himself has a lot of backstories, being the military. You can tell another type of story.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to tell the same type of story, but you can tell another type of story.
Here's what WB needs to do. They need to sit back, fire the idiot Sujihara, let the horror guy take full reins, get with Jeff Johns and be like, Jeff, who should we bring down the pipe? Can you help flesh out a good story so we can fast track this movie and we'll give our damn director the creative control that he needs and not worry about our freaking pockets at the end of the year for a freaking bonus.
You know what? I might take though. You know what? You just Alba as Jon Stewart. I'll take that. Even though he's a little older, it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah. He's too
The
old.
problem there is you will never get him because it's in his contract. He can't be a DC character.
Really?
Once you are signed with Marvel, you can't go to DC. You probably have to wait a few years after your contract runs out. It's like that old wrestling stuff. Yo, you sign with us, you can't go to TNA, not for 2 years, even if we fire you.
I mean, okay, I might take Michael J. White. I love Michael J. White, but
no, we got him in Arrow as the Tiger.
No. I'm just waiting for Black Lightning to. No. I said not Black Lightning.
Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite Part 2 coming out this year. That's what I'm waiting for.
I think realistically, what I think is they should redo the Cyborg. They should redo the Cyborg character because Cyborg's character is actually a very compelling character. He's probably one of the smartest people in DC. They didn't need to make him as bulky as he is right now. They could have changed the outfit to make him look more human, and then when he goes into battle mode, everything pops out. But they didn't even go. There's so much they could do with it.
Look, I mean, let's never talk about Cyborg because we know he's the one that got the most amount of cuts out of that movie and the reshoots because they said they wanted to make him more lighthearted because his character dealt with his pain, his loss, everything that he had gone through. And
let's be real though, Sam. The average going moviegoer is not going to care for a Cyborg movie. It would have to be Cyborg and Flash.
Yeah, Cyborg.
He'd have to be teamed up with somebody because as much as I enjoyed him in Justice League, I do not want to see the brother in a standalone movie.
I didn't really enjoy him that much in Justice League even. That's why I'm like, they need to redo him. They need to redo that character a bit.
Well, because this is, again, WB and their cluster F doing what they do best. Let's fire Zack Snyder 1 year ago today because we didn't like the tone of his freaking movie. And let's bring in Josh Whedon and say, screw it. Here's another $100 million. Fix it. I can't fix this. This is the cluster F. How do we fix something that needs to be reshot from start to finish?
Realistically, I don't even think you need to fix it. I think they just needed to release what they had, and I think what they had was probably good.
So the problem with releasing what they had was it was Zack Snyder's Dark Vision, and they didn't want to go with the Dark Vision because the crybabies out there are going, it's too dark for me. I can't handle Superman killing.
But I'll put it this way though: if you going back to Black Panther, and I said this earlier, Disney, if you're going to make a movie that has balance, that has jokes, please stop making Thor Ragnaroks and stop making Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I enjoyed Thor. Watching it last night.
Thor was fun, but it to me was, like I said before, it's not a Thor movie in my mind. It was peak. Thor story.
Can we say Thor 1 and 2 are Thor movies? Those were just hot patches of
No, I'm just I like I said, I enjoyed it. Okay, not Thor. Maybe Thor Ragnarok is an exception, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 should not be made as a movie because you forced 10,000 jokes into 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
and after a while, I'm like,
they were just trying to outdo Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and that didn't work out too well. Yeah.
They didn't even have to do that. They could have just made a simple movie, and it would have been fine. You know, I enjoyed Guardians 2, but I did not care for Kurt Russell as Ego. I wasn't even invested in him. That's the only movie I have not seen again since it initially released.
I mean, we'll see. So what do you think they would do for sequels? Black Panther. Any ideas come to mind?
I don't know his villains.
He has to be in the States, so it'll be very interesting. I think they're going to change it around. He's going to be in the States. So I'm thinking he's probably going to be tackling some of Iron Man's villains because it looks as though he's going to be the successor to what's his name, Robert Downey Jr. once he leaves. So I think that's kind of, it seems that's where they kind of placed him with the technology and everything. So I'm thinking he's probably going to be in the U.S. dealing with a lot of Iron Man villains at that point. So it's probably going to be a buddy movie with Iron Man and Black Panther.
No. See, if I want a buddy movie, I want it to be Shuri and Tony
That'll be
debating.
fun.
And when she tells him, "Yo, no, it's this way. This will work better," and then he comes back and that banter will be great.
Actually, true. Having both of them like argue tech, because like her liveliness and knowing how Robert Downey Jr. as an actor is, he can play off that very well. You put that together on screen, those two would literally sit down, just tell everybody to shut up. We'll fix the tech. You people can go around and fight and do whatever you need to do and be done. So
Warren, they tried to Coogler tried to use Craven and Marvel told him no. So it ain't gonna be Craven. Craven's gonna be straight up Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Now introduce him in Spider-Man. He gets his butt handed to him in Spider-Man, and then he said, "Screw it, I'm gonna go capture me a cat in Wakanda." Okay, then I'll buy
it. Yeah, I mean, we'll I think Nikkei as a villain is the most logical one. Next,
they're not gonna do that quick. That would probably become the third movie. The second movie, I think what they'll do is start out in Wakanda, but then he goes on a mission and he's out of Wakanda because you can't keep using Wakanda as a fighting stage. You'll take people out of it. So now, like what they did in South Korea was brilliant, beautiful. Take him to another part of the world and let him have some action out there. Try to resolve some with the spies in another country and distributing the tech and all this other stuff. Someone tries to swoop in the Mandarin for all we know.
Tries to swoop in. Messed that one up.
No, they didn't. If you paid attention to the short, the Mandarin is out there.
Yeah, but I think they kind of screwed it up.
But let's be real. That was Shane Black then screwing up that character.
Yeah. I mean, the spy thing could work, but I mean, we'll have to see what they come up with. I mean, I'm sure they're going to go through the comics and select and pick a villain to make it
because like this movie gave him fighting Mane.
Submariner.
I don't want it again.
He's not.
They can use him.
Can they?
They can use him. They just can't put him in his own solo movie.
What?
Just like just like Hulk. Hulk can't get a standalone movie because Universal still owns the rights to distribute.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
So
so Disney can make it, but Disney wants the distribution because, of course, they'll make more money off that. So that's the problem.
So what they do is, hence, Hulk is in 50 other movies, and you tell his arc through all the other movies. So you can get the Submariner. He can be maybe an anti-hero type person in a Black Panther movie, and then figures out, oh, we're both actually fighting for the same cause.
I mean, the Skrulls are definitely coming.
Oh yeah, we're getting that in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I think they even alluded a little bit to Namor or Namor.
Yes, he had an Easter egg. I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
I watched it.
The line he said, the breath you breathe or the life you have, I've given to you. Something like that. Yeah. It's something he said to the Submariner in the comic book. So they dropped a few Easter eggs for that in there.
I mean, the Skrull. I don't think the Skrull would be his main villain. I think if they played similar to Secret Wars, that the big event they had. I look. My own thing is this: I would like for Captain Marvel to come back and mention that she's fought the Skrulls and there are Skrulls on Earth here, and then you find out this is me, Tony Stark, is a Skrull. That's how you take him out.
Yeah, no, basically half the Avengers are Skrulls.
Exactly. That's how the people who you need to resign your contract out, or who stayed the longest. Those are the people you take out as Skrulls. That's how you do it. And then the only tech and the only person who can solve that problem is who? Wakanda. Because they were never infiltrated at all. And that's how it was in the comics and even the cartoons as well. They had to go to Wakanda for some help because they were the only ones who had vibranium, who could, of course, since vibranium is like, I don't know, it's like, what's the present? It's like plastic. You can use it in everything.
And then you got the vibranium that would work. And they also thought about bringing in the Patriot, one of the Young Avengers.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
But then I don't know if Disney said no. But I think Ryan Coogler came to a sentence like, yeah, it won't work because he's really not from Africa and stuff like that. So he went against it.
Yeah. Patriot. That would have been an interesting inclusion there. That would have brought in a few other interesting characters from the Young Avengers. That would have made it possible. Because I think
that's what they could set up in like a Black Panther 2 going forward and some of those movies. Because you got to set up new Avengers. Because I mean, okay, we've got Ant-Man, we've got Bucky. Well, White Wolf. How they called him at the end.
White Wolf never really happened, man.
And then you got Black Panther and Doctor Strange. Everyone else's contracts are up.
And Spider-Man.
The only one, and Spider-Man, and the only one who really signs day to day, movie to movie is Scarlett Johansson.
Well, they said her movie's coming out in 2019.
Well, they're fast tracking that because of all the success of Wonder Woman. And let's be real, they should have did that.
Yeah, it should have been done, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, I think we've discussed White Wolf versus Black Panther. White Wolf will lose. He lost the first round already.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that fight already too.
But I think we've come to the end. We've discussed as much as we can discuss. We'll probably find out more when we watch it again and see little things that we missed here and there. But I'll just
attention to detail. To detail.
I'll go on and ask my lovely panel of co-hosts here. Okay, what would you rate the movie? What position in the Marvel universe do you place this movie? Yes. I already stated mine, but I'll state it again afterwards.
You know, I don't place these movies. I just enjoy them all.
They even give me that rubbish. They starting with you, Lou. Rating and place.
Oh, it's a 5 out of 5 as far as rating.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't place it when I don't place none of the other ones. I just enjoyed them as a collective whole.
I've liked what Thor 1.
Oh, yes.
That's higher than that. Is he better than Thor 2?
But I don't have them placed. I just watched them and that's it. I mean, the hell? I enjoyed Age of Ultron on mute. Age of Ultron is flawless when it's on mute.
Exactly. Okay. Sam, how about you?
I would give it. I wouldn't say out of 5. I'll give probably an 8 out of 10. I think it was very good. Probably even an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was very good, and there's room for improvements. I think some of they did a good thing with killing off some characters because that really didn't make sense. Like I was talking about the age thing there. It could have been a little better with the casting, and I'm referring specifically to
Shaka.
T'Chaka, and also when you look at what's the name
Forrest
of
Whitaker's character.
Forrest Whitaker's character. Those two I'm specifically talking about. When it comes to overall Marvel movie, I don't even see this as a Marvel movie. That's the thing. I think this is a really good movie. So to me, it doesn't really place in a superhero movie. I think it's just a great movie. You know. So I would say if I was going to place it, I would say it's my second favorite Marvel movie because nothing is ever going to beat the feeling of seeing the Avengers on screen all together for the first time. Nothing can beat that feeling, and I'm sorry. So I'll say this is the number 2.
Civil War can beat it because God damn it, they had all the freaking Avengers in it.
Yeah, but you see, Civil War, I've come to expect like, oh, there's superhero movies out now. Oh, okay, but seeing the Avengers together for the first time, I'm like. That's just it gives you this like little giddy feeling inside.
I don't know about the Expanse now.
Okay. Before we get to that, for me, like I said, I will give it a 9 out of 10. Few things to fix, but
damn, then I'll change my rating to a 10 out of 10. Shit, we're going with the high number.
No, because 4 is just literally because I can't say 4 because it's 5 would be closer than anything else. But 9 out of 10. I could technically give it a 10 because I can forgive. The movie does a lot for me to forgive those little things. In terms of placement of Marvel movies, this is my number 1. My number 2 is my number 2 is Winter Soldier. My number 3 is Doctor Strange. My number 4 is Iron Man, and maybe Avengers number 5.
Well, Poppy's going with Avengers, War, Soldier, Panther.
Avengers is a movie that I personally hate and love at the same time.
No, it's not a perfect movie. It is not a perfect movie.
It's not that. Like I get the giddy just like you, but then if it's like a superhero movie, Lou knows I always complain about this power levels. Every time I watch that movie, I just go,
yeah, the power levels all over the place.
Well, not really, because the best fight in that movie was Thor and Hulk. That displayed power levels.
No, that was not power levels. No, if they fought on the helicarrier, one punch alone. Look, which is why, like, as much I'm not trying to bring Man of Steel into this, but Man of Steel just made me, for that part alone.
Two guys fought and the whole city went down.
I was like, please, Marvel, give me this just once. So I was hoping we got a better look at that in Thor Ragnarok. You know, at least this was in a different world. This was an arena built for this, and we saw Thor and Hulk go at it, and you could see the damage that was going around. I was like, okay, this makes sense.
But see, if we're gonna go back of all time, I have to kind of agree with Kyle. Blade. It's not part of the MCU, but let's be real, it started the MCU.
Oh yeah. It started all the interest. Yeah, Blade did.
I mean, if you're going all time, yeah. I mean,
it was the first black hero on screen.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even that though. Like, see, I never read Blade comics as a kid.
I didn't read comics. I just watched that movie and I was like, yo, this is cool.
And I remember like 99, I was in college, and this at the end of the year, so my buddy had like, the VHS of Blade, and I walked into his room and all I see is Wesley Snipes with glasses. So I was like, I'm watching this. I was like, what? I was like, yo, like I need to watch this. And I mean, you know what? Maybe, yeah, you're probably right.
You're gonna go
I'm sorry, Warren, don't even mention X-Men. I'm sorry. Bryan Singer just destroyed it. I don't care. Cyclops is terrible in X-Men. All the X-Men movies.
Oh God, was Cyclops a whiny girl? But gee, why don't you love me? Why are you messing with Logan? Oh, shut your whiny ass up.
Wow.
Well, Lou's going hard here. Well, anyway, guys.
Rewatch those movies and you see all Scott did was chase Jean like she was a dog.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. I'm glad you guys are listening to all the movies that you like and appreciate. Yes, Warren.
Cyclops was the weakest part of those movies. Cyclops in the cartoon was a badass. Cyclops in the movie was a chump.
No, it's true though. The 90s
Cyclops in the cartoon was a badass, but the way Cyclops is written in comics, he's a little bit of a Boy Scout and a little bit of a pissant too. So I never really liked the Cyclops character.
I like Cyclops, but I like more the cartoon Cyclops, because to me that was the one that made more sense. Because the way they started writing him in the comics too, they've done the same thing in the movies to Cyclops. They've just written him wherever the writer feels like taking the story. Cyclops can be the bad guy or can be the antagonist or whatever.
The comics kind of, because of the rights issues that we're having or whatever, they've done some stuff to the character to make people not like him even more. But even from the start, I thought he was one of the weakest out of all of them, because he was a Boy Scout. He never would do what needed to be done. Wolverine was the person who did what needed to be done. Storm was someone who could do what needed to be done. Yeah. If you look at the background of all the X-Men, these are people who understood what it meant to do what needs to be done, right? But this guy, Scott, was this pristine ideal that Xavier had. And
yeah, but
it's gonna piss me off.
Okay, but to defend Cyclops, because that's my favorite X-Men, is that Xavier's dream does not survive without Cyclops at least leading that team for a while. Yes, because he let it for a while until everybody else got to the position where they could actually lead, whether it was Wolverine, whether it was Storm, whether it was even Beast leading the team. But he had to keep a balance on that team, because with the kind of, especially we have people with so many very powers, he still just told everybody to piss off, do your job, and stay in your lane.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. That is true. I'll give him that. Like the X-Men would not have the way they wrote his character. He was somewhat like the leader that the X-Men needed.
He did, yeah.
I never really liked him, man.
And then Rogue was another one.
Who?
Rogue. She was boring.
That's not even the Rogue in the comics. That is not even the same.
I know person. Rogue in the comics could fly. Well, see. To me, my X-Men was that '90s cartoon.
Yeah, Rogue in the cartoon is.
I didn't. You know, the only comic that I read, I'm gonna be honest, are the Sons of Anarchy or Walking Dead. I have all the other comics around, but that's what I've read. And then in the '90s, I watched that X-Men cartoon with my brother because he would have it on and I would watch it. And I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, most people are familiar with the X-Men reboot, which is what people had for in the '90s. That's the X-Men reboot. The original X-Men were the five? Was like 4 or 5 of them, right?
The original 5 was Beast,
Cyclops, Archangel, Iceman.
No, Archangel, Angel.
Sorry, I call him Archangel, but yeah, Angel and
Iceman and Jean.
No, Jean was there, yeah, and Jean.
And Iceman,
yeah.
Iceman, yeah. Those was around, yeah. And that was it. But I mean, we'll see how all that turns out. But anyway, I know
let's be real, bro.
We've chatted
Look what
a lot.
they did to Apocalypse. That man's a beast, and they made him a chump too.
He's Barney.
He's right. The only one they ever kept kind of true was Wolverine. No holds barred attitude. Let's go get shit done. No, Apocalypse is supposed to be this man you're supposed to fear. This mutant that is godlike, but yet, really, he's 5'5", smaller than everybody, and he's getting manhandled by Quicksilver for a minute. No. Bryan Singer should not be allowed to touch any more comic book movies.
Look, because if I were to even start my Bryan Singer rant, all I have to say is go watch Superman Returns, and then you will pull your hair out. You will hate what he's done because he made Superman a deadbeat dad, spying on ex-girlfriend, did not pay child support for 7 years.
He was in outer space. You can't fault him for that.
That's what happened in that movie. And he got beat up by Harold and Kumar.
No, but let's be real. Thinking about it, the main villain of that movie wasn't Kevin Spacey. It was a stupid island that he made.
Yeah, exactly.
He grew an island. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. And Superman picked the damn island. I'm like, what just happened?
I saw somebody's YouTube video. The guy said, Superman is just being selfish. What do you mean? And you're like, yeah, you look at me being selfish. Yeah. I mean, yeah, granted the island's made of kryptonite, but yeah, Lex was right. Real estate, housing, overpopulation, man. Like, you could fly somewhere else. The island don't affect you, bro. Like, just move away. Go the other way. But no, you had to pick it up and toss it in space, right? Now it's going to float and hit some planet and kill some people.
That's a meteorite going to kill someone. Oh, man.
All right, guys. Anyway, thank you very much for joining, guys. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification icon to get notified with our latest videos. Any more questions or comments, if you're watching this later, definitely leave them down below in the comment section of this video, and always enjoy your entertainment.
And hopefully next week we'll bring you the Altered Carbon special.
Yes.
That was a good